and where it should be at right now. I think this morning is probably one of the better mornings that we've had here in St. Louis. It's a cool 20 degrees outside. If you're scoring at home, don't forget to bundle up them babies at the bus stop, and don't forget to put some clothes on yourself. Again, Happy New Year to you good people out there. Happy New Year, and thank you for tuning into the show. You can follow us through Facebook. Go to Who's to Blame. You can follow us through Twitter at W2B Dre Montez, Instagram, Dre Montez, and on Snapchat, Dre Montez. My lovely assistant, Susan, is the one who has convinced me to give Snapchat a try. And so far, it's been going pretty good, so thank you. LGB, let's go Blues. Go crazy, folks, go crazy. I watched the Blues hockey game last night with a good friend of mine, Dan, and he was breaking down the gameplay to me as we were watching the Blues game last night. By the way, incredible save last night in overtime. Incredible save by the Blues. But he put his insights on me a little bit, what he's been doing in his spare time. He watches Pee Wee hockey. And he was breaking down basically that the Blues have St. Louis has some of the best hockey players around right now in this country that are young and up and comings in the game. And he was like really getting excited talking about this Pee Wee hockey team that's here in St. Louis. And I just see the passion in that guy's face talking about the Pee Wee hockey. By the way, congratulations again. Dan got his first kid on the way. Had a great time watching the game with him last night. Let's go Blue. Can we talk about the white elephant in the room? That being college football playoff system. Whether you agree or disagree, that was some pretty exciting football. Hey, I'm sorry, UCF, University of Central Florida fans. I'm sorry. That's just the way the system is designed right now. Is it flawed? Can it be fixed? Hey, we've come a long way from the BCS to this here. Give us a little bit of time. They're not going to get it right each and every time. If you want to get it right, you got to tell somebody to beat Bama early. Plain and simple. Bama is the New England Patriots of college football. They're always going to be there. You cannot count Nick Saban out. That is a funnel for the NFL offensive line and defensive tackles that have been coming through Roll Tide. So is the system flawed? Can it be fixed? Who's to blame? I think we need to take away the preseason poll for college football, for one. Take that away. The poll should not come out until after the first month of the season, in my opinion. I don't get the preseason poll for college football. It doesn't make any sense because it's influencing the wrong people, the voters on the panel for these bowl decisions and the playoff system. Their mind is already locked in already. Did anybody expect University of Central Florida to do what they did, to have a run like this, to beat Auburn the way they beat the hell out of Auburn? They did a phenomenal job. Clemson, is Dabo Swinney still yelling at the kid? You know, they talk about these players in college grabbing their crotch, doing the throat slash gesture. But do you like to see the coach getting in a player's face? Obviously, you can read his lips and you know damn well what he said. He said, "You have no talent. I wish I had Deshaun Watson still." Dabo, you put yourself in that situation. You put yourself in that situation trying to play the political verbiage game with Nick Saban. You should have just prepared your team a little bit better than what you did. And you got basically what was supposed to happen to you. I mean, Clemson got shut down. Alabama came out there to prove something. You want to talk about our quarterback situation? Okay, our quarterback is not even going to be a factor. I'm going to bring that defense at you in a way you never thought you'd seen a defense come at Clemson before. And that's what they did. It was impressive. I was shocked that they beat them that bad. I mean, it was something else. You had a team averaging 35 points a game, 488 yards a game, that being Clemson, and Bama just shut them down. Shut them completely down. In the other game, Between what the Atlanta Falcons did in the Super Bowl last year and what the Oklahoma Sooners did in the second half is mind-boggling to me. How do you have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in the second half and on the first possession in overtime, you run the ball 3 times? I mean, what was going on with the play calling? Did they set this kid up for failure? Was it more money on the line than what we thought? What was the Vegas line? Who won big on Oklahoma by them getting beat that way by other, that being Georgia, them Bulldogs? Now, I'm happy that Georgia won, but I was kind of rooting for this kid to win a bowl game and the Heisman Trophy because they don't go hand in hand. When a quarterback wins the Heisman Trophy and it comes to them playing in a championship game, they don't do well at all. At all. Or a bowl game. Don't do well at all. And I wonder why that is sometimes. I mean, who's to blame for what happened to Oklahoma? Say it with me, class. The play calling. The play calling. They were up by 17 points at one time. Over 500 yards plus on offense. I mean, you can't make up statistical numbers like that at all in this day and age. In college football with Oklahoma and Georgia, and it goes to overtime, you figure, hey, 40-plus points, I can win this ball game. In the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. I mean, they came prepared, and they didn't give up. Now, can a defense play like that and beat Alabama? Probably not. So Uga has to go back to the drawing board and figure something out when it comes up to playing Bama next Monday night in the college football championship game. I think Vegas odds are really putting all the money, all the marbles, basically, so to speak, with Alabama. People upset that it's an all-SEC championship. I don't know what to tell you. You had one damn job, between these field goal kickers, offensive coordinators of America need to unite and watch the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl from last year and watch Oklahoma give up the game to other. Because it seems like no one is paying attention. You were up 17 points. And he played a pretty decent game, Baker Mayfield. I like the young man telling him to humble himself because he did the throat slashing gesture early in the game. Now he's drawing comparisons to Johnny Manziel. Why is that? Because he's white and cocky? Is that it? Is that why he's drawing comparisons to Johnny Manziel? Because of his behavior and his actions. When a kid wants to win and shows emotion in the game, they come up with all these different types of adjectives. I want to see this young man excel in the NFL. I'm not saying he's going to be a Super Bowl caliber player, but I think what he can bring to the NFL and to an NFL team, his attributes, and if an NFL owner or a GM is looking at this kid, look at his footwork. Look at his mechanics. And I'm quite sure there's an NFL team that can use what he has based on the offensive system that he came out of with Oklahoma. I think he can really help a whole lot of teams out there. But Alabama and other playing it out next Monday night in the College Football National Championship game, and a lot of people just don't like it. They think it's unfair. They should be playing one more game so they can play University of Central Florida. Hats off to you, Scott Frost. Hats off to you. Hats off to you, sir. Any way you look at it, Scott Frost is a winner all around. He's taking on the job to go back to his alma mater, that being the Cornhuskers. Bring the black shirts back. He put together one hell of a resume with University of Central Florida. One hell of a resume. And I like it. But I'm looking forward to this matchup next Monday night. As it builds up to that, I'm quite sure we'll hear more details on the game preparation for Alabama and UGA. Which way is the pendulum going to swing? Which way? Which way you got it? I got Bama by 10 right now, but anything can change throughout the week. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in to Who's to Blame, the podcast with Dre Montez here, live on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning of 2018. Still cannot believe that it is 2018. Lo and behold, we had some people get fired in the NFL yesterday. We sure did. Hey, I don't make the rules. I just report them. And what I'm trying to tell you, I'm shocked and amazed at what happened in Cincinnati. 5 weeks ago, everyone thought this is it for Marvin Lewis. I've had enough. Longest tenured coach with one team other than Bill Belichick down. But Marvin Lewis is staying put with the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know how him or Hugh with Cleveland Browns have a job. Can anybody out there, after 2 years on a job, only got one sale? You've been on your job for 2 years. You have one sale. You've been a coach for 2 years. You have one win. You've been dating for you've been trying to date for 2 years and only been on one date. That's not good numbers, people. I don't see what the upside is in keeping a coach who has one victory in 2 years. It can't be all 53 people's fault. I fail to believe that. It has to be a systematic failure with the Cleveland Browns. There's no way possible that man should be accepting money, a paycheck, a salary, having keys to that building with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that should be a project in high school for kids. How can you fix the Cleveland Browns? I think all high schools across the United States should participate in this project and come up with a true legitimate, with a nice budget, go out and build a team. The actual budget on paper, go out and build the Cleveland Browns team from the front office all the way down to the water boy. Go out there and find quality people to believe in the process, because I don't know what's going on. It's pretty damn sad. For 2 years, you live in a town or a city, you root for a team, you buy their jerseys, you go to the games, you listen to the local sports shows on this team, you give your opinions, and they give you one win in 2 years? Who's to blame? I'm firing everybody in the front office. I'm starting over, that being the owner. I'm going to get Amy Trask to be my GM. My head coach, I'm going off the grid here. I may go to the collegiate level and get me somebody. Because I don't think there's a pro coach available that can go out there and help the Cleveland Browns. This is way beyond a draft pick helping them out. This is way beyond end of the season trade or off season trade. This whole franchise is dysfunctional to me. I mean, and there's some guys on that team that can play football. There's some guys on that team that want to be coached. But to get the W, at least 6 or 7 wins, that's going to take a lot of work and dedication. I just don't think football minds have that much patience in it. Cincinnati Bengals, I'm thinking that Marvin Lewis has some dirt on somebody in that front office. He got something on camera, a recording, or he kept a photo from back in the day. Something is not adding up right to me, because reports came out that he was going to basically try to look for a GM position. He was looking to add a little bit more to the resume. And I don't think he did at all. But he's staying put there. For the reaction around town in Cincinnati, the people are loving it. And I don't know. I don't agree with it. But hey, to each his own. I really thought my Denver Broncos was going to fire Vance Joseph. John Elway had the press conference and said he believes in Vance. He's going to give him another shot at this. The players, the vocal players, Chris Harris, Von Miller and the guys were saying, hey, we believe in this guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to coach. But we all know what the problem was in Denver. Quarterback. I called this at the Man Cave weeks ago. I'm going to go months ago, who I want to be my quarterback next year. Nobody in college has the skills or ability to jump in the league and get up in the center next year. To me, I haven't seen that yet. So I want a veteran quarterback. Kirk Cousins out of Washington. I want him. You like that? Do you like that? I want Kirk Cousins in Denver. I don't care what it costs. Go get him. I believe we have all the tools he needs to succeed in Denver. You know, we got to go get a tight end possibly. I need some linebacker help and maybe get a trade for another running back. But I think we have the intangibles to go out there and compete next year with Kirk Cousins and go 11-5. I think we can do that next year. But I'm going to need complete dedication from this offensive system that we have. Gary Kubiak is going to take a more important role with the Broncos this upcoming season. But our offseason needs to start right now. We can't get ready for the season in April. No, sir. The sooner we get him in, the better it's going to be for game preparation. Now, I don't know how many other teams are going after him, but damn it, I know we're going after him hardcore. My Broncos and Kirk Cousins, come on home, son. We will not sign you on no one-year deal the way the Washington Redskins have done the past years. We will not do that to you. We will give you a contract with a home, family support around you, and the best fans in football, that being the orange and blue guys. You got wild card football coming up this weekend. Wild card football has been exciting ever since Marshawn Lynch did the earthquake shake against the highly favored New Orleans Saints. When he made the ground shake, when it broke the Richter scale up there, because those fans got into that playoff game. The wild card game is going to give it all to you. But I'm looking at the way the football season ended with the injuries at the quarterback position to the Philadelphia Football Eagles. June, no pun intended. But can Philly really rely on Nick Foles? Can Philly rely on Nick Foles? Now, I understand it was the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles played the worst final football game of my life. It was no score at halftime. No score at halftime. I think the first time since 2002, something like that. It's been a while since the Philadelphia Phillies and the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys have played to a scoreless halftime. Long time. And that game was atrocious. It was not football worthy. It was not television worthy. I understand the weather. That's casualties of the game, so I can't use that as an excuse. But Nick Foles. So what they're going to do with Nick Foles, they're going to try and get the Nick Foles that they had back in 2013. So they're looking at game film, the Eagles that is, on what he did then as opposed to now. Is it just the mentality? Is it the mechanics? Is it the play selection? What is it? I mean, in 2013, he threw for 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That's the Nick Foles the Philadelphia Eagles need to make it to the promised land, that being the Super Bowl in Minnesota. But if this same Nick Foles shows up that's played the past few weeks, Philly's going to go down with the L. I don't think the defense can justify his mistakes and miscues in a playoff-type atmosphere. So I think they need to address that right away. Jacksonville, Kansas City. Blake Bortles has really grown on me this year. The past two, he's really grown on me. He's learned from his mistakes. You know, it's very, Tom Brady, he was one of the first ones ever to see this, perform this before. They get better as the game goes on. He's learned from his first quarter mistakes, first possession mistakes, and so forth. And he goes on from there. He doesn't let it just get in his head the whole entire game because he has more on the table. Jacksonville is not a surprise team with me because they got the old man in the building who the New York Football Giants put out into the pasture and wanted to kill him. Kill him, Paul. He's too old to coach. I'm talking about Tom Coughlin. But Tom Coughlin took that old man mentality, angry grandfather mentality, to Jacksonville, that front office, and is doing some amazing things. Look at that defense. Big Ben talking about he wants a rematch with Jacksonville. Again, from Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Big Ben, you threw 5 picks against them. Will Antonio Brown be a key factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because anytime Ben Roethlisberger tries to force the ball to Antonio Brown, bad things happen. Now, Juju for Jaja Schuster did a great job the other day. He had some great speed. good football smarts. Great to be a young kid, 21 years old, playing NFL. Nice football IQ he has. Very nice football IQ that young man has. But I don't think Pittsburgh wants those problems. I really don't. Minnesota Vikings, the purple people eaters of America. That's my boy Tyler's team right there. He's been pushing these Vikings since we've met. He believed in Sam Bradford when nobody else did. He had the jersey FedExed overnight when Bradford got with them. And now they're playing incredible football with this kid, Case Keenum. But is this just a fluke? Is this a fluke with Minnesota, or is this the real thing we got? Will the week off hurt them or help them? I don't think they're as banged up as most teams throughout the NFL. They're in the playoffs right now. But with this bye week, sometimes the bye week hurts teams. And we hear about this through NFL films from former players when they're talking about getting prepared for the playoffs. Some teams on that momentum and want to keep it going. They don't want to take any time off. So sometimes the bye week does hurt people. And then some use that at their advantage. Like, hey, let's get this. When the window is that small and you know who you're playing, you can go in there with a game plan right away. As opposed to the regular season, I don't think teams come out with a true game plan versus each and every team each week. They're not as aggressive with most game plan preparations as it is for the playoffs. So I'm thinking, if Minnesota goes here with the right mind, keep doing what they're doing, this could be an at-home Super Bowl for those guys. And I'll tell you what, that would be real exciting. That would be really, really exciting. Probably not as exciting when they had the Super Bowl in New York. Not a good idea, NFL. Not a good idea. Fans don't do well in an outdoor setting of a Super Bowl if the temperature is cold. And it was cold as hell when they had that Super Bowl in New York. Great idea. They brought the cruise ship in, but the follow-through, didn't go quite as well. But I like this idea of Minnesota possibly being in the Super Bowl, and they're hosting the Super Bowl, and we already know who they're going to play. I'm sorry. We already know what team is coming out of the AFC. What's that, Susan? Terrific time. Terrific time. Of course he's going to come out on top. He does each and every time, man. That is a strong process of coaching. It's like everybody is on the same page with New England. I would love to be in the green room with them on draft day. I would like to go to one of their practices or a walkthrough. I'm just curious. I would love to do that with each and every NFL team. I want to see what the mentality is like. I mean, is this just for show? Is it really ran this way? I mean, TJ Moe told me some things about New England. It's a system. It's going to work. And they know how to find the people to work in that system. You're talking about selective personnel, selective coaches. I mean, he had that mindset, that being Bill Belichick when he was with the Cleveland Browns. He had that type of mentality there. But he wanted full-range operation of the thing. He went and hand-selected his coaches. The guy's a genius to me. But I guess we'll find out in years to come. Is it Brady? Is it the system? Is it Belichick? Or is it an overall process of all three things working together? I mean, it just goes to different to you. If you look at Nick Foles, Case Keenum, who happened to both be wearing these Ram uniforms one year, and Jeff Fisher couldn't do diddly-poo with them. But they go somewhere else and excel like that. Message. Message. You couldn't do nothing when you were here, but now this. Explain yourself. And, I don't know how this is going to go across with most folks, but Jack Del Rio was let go by the Raiders. And the Raiders went out and got, allegedly they're going to sign John Gruden for Monday Night Football. Thoughts? Whether you agree or disagree, let me know. Who's to blame? But that Rooney Rule has me confused on this. They have openly said they're going out to get Gruden. Now, the Rooney Rule states you must interview a minority coach. So if they already want their guy, why interview somebody? They already know who they want. He wants to go there. So I don't get the Rooney Rule when it comes to situations like this. NFL, explain yourself on that one, because I'm lost. I'm lost. You know, so now you're going to interview a minority coach just to check off the box that you did it. But that's not who you want anyway. So you're basically going to do like a Phil Jackson and go to sleep during the interview process, because you don't want him. You want Gruden. Gruden is back. Chuck E. Cheese Amato is back, baby. Bring that visor on. Bring that intensity on. Raider Nation, will you make the playoffs next year? The Raiders of last year that made the playoffs without a quarterback, poor Derek Carr. And the Raiders of this year, completely two different teams. Completely two different teams. Michael Crabtree played in a game. They didn't throw the ball at him one time. How is that possible? How is that physically possible? You have a receiver in the NFL that can help you, and you don't throw the ball to him at all? You got to explain yourself. I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. But this Rooney Rule with the Oakland Raiders, they've already said they want John Gruden, but the Rooney Rule states you must interview a minority. So how is this going to work on this one? I want to know. How are they going to cover this one up? Yeah, I think you spoke too soon. I understand the excitement around the left coast of having John Gruden back, a winning coach, satisfaction guaranteed coach. You know, you still won with somebody else's players. Too soon? Too soon. But that's how I look at it. That's how I see it. Again, thank you for tuning in to Who's to Blame with Dre Montez. Coming to you from NextCore, 2631 Gravois Avenue. Give them a call at 314-635-0500. Stop on by for a tour. It's co-working and beyond. All the help you need, all the tools you need are available here at NextCore at 2631 Gravois. But I really would like to know how are the Raiders going to explain this to the NFL by their actions. What is the penalty if you do not apply to the NFL rule and the Rooney Rule? What is the punishment? $500,000? $250,000? A draft pick? It's just going to be really interesting to me to see how they're going to do this here with John Gruden and the Raiders. It's interesting to me. And then I want to know what Monday Night Football is going to do, because he was pretty fun with the Monday Night Football. He really was. I enjoyed it. Who can they go out there and get that has that same type of character? Ooh, Shannon Sharpe. Ooh. Now, I don't think Shannon can handle Monday Night Football. You got to check on that hen. But I wonder who they're going to possibly go out there and get. I like Tony Romo's excitement, his breakdown of NFL games. I think what he has is more of like an entertainment prospect of it. The way he looks at the game, the way he talks about the game, and he's been commentating. I think he'd be a lot of fun. But knowing the NFL, they'll probably do a guest host for all of next year and then probably sign somebody 2 years from now. But again, we're going to see how this Rooney Rule will or has affected the outcome of the situation is going to take place with the Oakland Raiders. We'll see. We will see. And it seems as though last night in the NBA, IT came back, that being Isaiah Thomas. 5'0". Has the heart of a lion. You know, his story and the situation happened with his sister, may she rest in peace, kind of brought Boston a little bit closer. It was an emotional goodbye. Heck of a ride for the young man. Got hurt. Now he's back, made his debut last night with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, we all know he can't play defense, so they didn't get him for his defense. And Cleveland's like one of the worst teams on the defensive side of the ball. But he has LeBron, King James, where's my hair at? And happy belated birthday to him as well. But are you excited to see this kid play with the Cavaliers? I'm excited to see him back on the court. I mean, coming back from injuries is already a psychological effect on most of these athletes anyway, because they become real timid again. But he was exciting to watch in Boston to me. I mean, he bought excitement to each and every game. Now, the only thing I don't like about Isaiah Thomas, he's getting a D. Wade treatment. He's always getting knocked on the floor and knocked down. He's getting beat around when he tries to drive to the hole because he's so little. So that there's always been a factor with me in his health and concern. There's no big man to protect him like in hockey. You know, you don't have a bruiser out there to go get nobody. So that's it. But he played some good basketball last night in 17 minutes. I think he finished with 17 points, by the way. But a good showing last night by IT last night with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think everybody's just waiting on basketball playoffs to start. You know what I'm waiting on? For us to get another shot of an NBA team here in St. Louis. Inquiring minds want to know, what do we have to do to get an NBA team here? I understand Memphis not that far. Cleveland's not that far. Indiana's not that far. But that's not the point. The point is, I think that we deserve a shot to be mentioned with an NBA team possibly coming here. You know, whether it's a current team that's already in the league looking for a new home. We have a lovely city here to show you. Have amazing things to do. Great venues. Great attractions. You know, we got the best damn baseball team. Hell of a hockey team. You know, we could use an NBA team. We got a soccer team. I mean, what does it take? What is the NBA looking for when it comes to a city obtaining an NBA team? Because we need to get back on a good track. Bring the opportunity for cities that don't have a second or third sports franchise, the opportunity to host the NBA preseason game. I think that should be an opportunity to do that. Bring that back. But closer where we get to see the actual starters play, though. Not the first damn preseason game, because nobody's going to play in that. We're going to see the talent that everybody's talking about when players are sitting. But in real serious conversation, what do we have to do? I mean, St. Louis Sports Commission. Hello? Answer the phone. I'm calling you. Are you reaching out to get the NBA? I would love to go to some NBA games. I would love to take clients to NBA games. I mean, basketball is a great sale. They have great businessman specials at the NBA, doing NBA games. My time living in Charlotte, North Carolina, I went to Hornets games all the time. They're fun. It's not 6 hours of entertainment. Let's get in and get it over with. The halftime shows are incredible. You don't get a chance to see a lot of them because, you know, they do the in-game commentary, a halftime show. But when you're at the game, man, it's exciting. It's just like hockey. There's more to it when you're at the game itself than opposed to being on television. There's a lot more bells and whistles behind the scene. Good old cup of Joe this morning. But yeah, I want the NBA back here, man. I reached out to Ice Cube's 3-on-3 League to possibly get St. Louis the consideration of it being a tour stop this season. Be great to see 4 games in one day in the afternoon. Take the kids, you know, take the whole family. It's not expensive, the 3-on-3 Basketball League tickets are not. And I think that would be a great Saturday or Sunday addition to our sports schedule here in town in St. Louis. I mean, the Cardinals are going to be gone quite a bit in July due to the VP Fair being here and the All-Star break. I think that would be one of the best times to host Ice Cube's 3-on-3 Basketball League over at that empty garage that we have downtown. And you know, why not? Can we host a bowl game here again? Can we host a college bowl game here in St. Louis again in the near future? St. Louis Sports Commission, talk to me. Can we do that? I think that'd be pretty cool if we can do that. And I'm gonna tell you something I witnessed at one of the NBA games this year in Houston. Former Olympic athlete Carl Lewis is at it again. Oh boy. You want a morning laugh? Just Google search Carl Lewis. You know, he tried with the national anthem. Oh, it was atrocious. Couldn't sing a lick. Then he tried throwing out the first pitch at a Major League Baseball game. Oh boy. Well, the other day in Houston, he attempted to shoot a free throw. Look here. Not all black men can play basketball. Not all athletes can play other sports. You have one job. You just stay an Olympic athlete. That's it. Just one job. Did you see LeBron James when he was up in at the Nike offices playing intramural softball. Hey, LeBron James was meant to play basketball, and that's it. That's it. I have never seen an uncoordinated man in my life attempting to play sports other than Carl Lewis. You have got to see the video footage of this man trying to shoot a free throw. The first pitch, but the one that always will go down in your heart, has to be the national anthem. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Carl Lewis, man, hey, buddy, you have got to stop. You're doing too much, man. Carl Lewis, you're doing way too much, buddy. Way too much, buddy. Again, if you want to get a hold of the show, you can email me at moredremontez@gmail.com. You can reach out on Twitter at W2B Dre Montez. Facebook, Who's to Blame? Instagram, Dre Montez. And Snapchat as well, Dre Montez. Reach on out to the show as we're going to do a lot of fun things, man. It feels good to be back in the studio again. Again, I'm over here at NextCore at 2631 Gravois. And I love the place. I love it. Hear that great sound, that studio sound. That's what I was missing. You know, I'm still going to go to various spots and do some podcasting out on the scene, as I was talking to my good buddy Matt McElrath. And he has some interesting cameras now, so we're going to do something a little unique after one of the shows, probably downtown at the Loft or at one of the venues throughout town that I've been doing the show from last year. So we got that coming to look forward to. And I'm excited too, man. So much going on behind the scenes, things I'm working on. I just hope it all comes into play. Did you see the 308-pound running back for Alabama? Well, defensive lineman catch a touchdown. That man could move. A 300-pound man moving like that, I think he can beat me running. Don't take much to beat me running at all. But yeah. Again, a lot of people are upset if you just joined it. We talked about the college football championship. A lot of people are upset that it's an all-SEC game. Hey, congratulations to University of Central Florida and Scott Frost. Do we want to see one more game? Do you want to see the winner of Alabama and Georgia play University of Central Florida? Would that make everyone happy? I think we own something. And I tell you something else I noticed when it was during the bowl season. A lot of these players were not playing. We're not going to participate. I think in the next few years, that's going to become a big issue. That some of these guys are not worried about. If it's not the national championship game, a lot of these guys are not playing because they're thinking of the next step, that being the NFL draft. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want nothing bizarre to happen. They don't need nothing else to go wrong. They're trying to go in the league with the right viewpoint, the right vision, and to get that mindset right. I think that's something that the NCAA and the NFL may have to address because a lot of guys have sat out. Now, I can't tell if a guy had a concussion or not, but you had Josh Rosen sit out. You know, he was under concussion protocol. I'm not saying he didn't, but you're a top prospect NFL quarterback. That's Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold out of USC. Now, if you're the Cleveland Browns and you're those two guys, I bet they're nervous as hell. How do I not go to that team? Because if I go to that team, I'll be out of the NFL within 2 years. That has to be wearing on the mind of those two guys. If I am picked, whoever has the number one pick, they have to be thinking, if I go to Cleveland, my life is ruined. So by Josh Rosen saying, hey, I may just come back and play another year. It's a shame, man. You get rewarded in sports for doing your job, putting up the numbers you need to put up, and you get awarded and dealt to the Cleveland Football Browns. There has to be something responsible for that. I mean, it's funny looking at it as a fan of football. But if I lived in Cleveland or was a Cleveland Browns fan, this would probably be painful for me to watch each and every year. It would be very painful for me to watch. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree? How you doing, Miss Pam? Happy New Year to you. What's up, Mr. Reagan? Happy birthday to you, sir. I mean, Happy New Year. I mean, there has to be something done beyond the fact where collegiate football players saying, hey, I'm going to stay an extra year. Or I got to talk to my agent. You got to do something. I'm not going to Cleveland. Can you imagine when the commissioner calls that name in April, how that kid is going to act? Yeah, you're happy you're going to the NFL. But don't spend the money so fast. That's all I'm going to tell you. You're going to need something to fall back on. And I think UCLA, USC, and Stanford, when they have great football players that should be in a Heisman conversation, it's pretty hard because of the time zone. You know, they don't get the television coverage that the Big Ten gets, the SEC in Florida and all that. They don't get that type of exposure. And I think that is what's really hurting Stanford, UCLA, and USC. It's the way the games are being covered, because I only got a chance to see Josh Rosen play one time, and I was highly impressed with that kid's skills. I mean, he's throwing the ball with such whip on it and such confidence. And then he has got the check down. He can do his reads. He looks like a second-year NFL backup player to me. And that's some talent that young man has. Now, Sam Darnold, he tries to force the ball too much. He kind of reminds me of a Carson Palmer when he was in college. Kind of reminds him of him just a little bit. But for as decision-making is concerned, I think Josh makes some damn good decisions with UCLA. And I hope he doesn't go to Cleveland. I really want to see this kid go somewhere and get with a system that can put him in a winning situation. I really do hope that happens for him. So they fired Chuck Pagano in Indianapolis. Andrew Luck, the most unhealthy man in the NFL, possibly could be playing a full season next year. You know, the Colts were exciting to watch when he was quarterbacking, but he was getting sacked way too much, getting hit way too much. That offensive line needs some help, needs some big-time help up there in Indianapolis. But Chuck Pagano is out. Who's going to coach the Indianapolis Colts, who wants to help groom Andrew Luck and protect him from a coaching standpoint. Because you got to go out there and get the right guys on that line to protect him. Because he's a good quarterback. I like Andrew Luck, but he's getting a bad rap because he has the Sam Bowie effect. Can't stay healthy. Can't stay healthy at all. Former Carolina Panther coach and Denver Bronco coach John Fox is out in Chicago. Mitchell Trubisky came out of nowhere from North Carolina into the NFL. I saw so much hope and promise in that kid because the numbers he put up at UNC, the story about him in high school, his path to the NFL, and finally getting a starting job. They need more support system in Chicago as well, too. They don't have anybody. I mean, from the Jay Cutler incident to now, Chicago is in a rebuilding process. And in football, the rebuilding process takes 2 to 4 years. It takes 2 to 4 years. Is that enough time for the Chicago Bears? Is that enough time for them? So I think a lot of assistant coaches and coordinators throughout the NFL are about to get some head coaching jobs. They're finally about to get their time to shine, get the light on them, call their game. And I like when offensive coordinators become head coaches. I really do. And you have a defensive coordinator that is a true defensive coordinator. Like Vance Joseph is a defensive coordinator. We need a true offensive coordinator to go with Denver. I'm hoping that Kubiak somehow, some way, gets involved with the offensive play calling next year. Again, it's a shame that fans can tell you more about what the problem is with your team than some of these damn people that get paid to do it. It's just mind-boggling to me that the process is not being utilized throughout the NFL. As much as they preach about it, it's not being utilized. There's no way some of these teams with the caliber of players they have should not be in the playoffs, i.e. Detroit Lions. Why? Why did Matthew Stafford sign that big-ass contract and can't get over the hump? Is he really missing Calvin Johnson that much? If so, you need to bring him back. You need to bring him back. It'd have been nice to see Matthew Stafford in the playoffs. It'd have been nice to see the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. But it's the process, man. I think Dallas is all mental. All mental. I think Dez Bryant is done. I think he's an overrated receiver in the NFL. Yes, I said that here. Who's to blame? Well, Dez hasn't done nothing. I don't even think he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL. No, not at all. I'm going to start calling him Shirley. That's going to be his new name, Shirley Bryant. Every time he's look at me, something goes wrong. He drops way too many passes. He gives up on a play if the ball is not coming at him, and he gets in his feelings too much, and it's becoming the look at me, Shirley Bryant, Dez Bryant show. So I don't know what is going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys in all season. A lot of people thought Jason Garrett should have gotten fired. So everybody wants to fire people. Who you bringing in? Who are you bringing in? That's the easiest thing in the world to get rid of somebody. Bye. Who you bringing in? Well, you need to break up with him. Who I'm going to date? You need to break up with her. Well, who I'm going to date? So when people are so quick to fire people, who are you bringing in? If you already don't have one in the chamber, I don't know what to tell you. Like the Raiders. They had that in the hip pocket. I think they've been talking to John Gruden the whole damn year behind the scenes. And you know Sports Illustrated is going to break the story if they were and tell us behind the scenes what the Raiders and John Gruden were doing this past football season. I mean, you can tell in his eyes and in his voice and in an interview session on a truck when he's talking to the quarterbacks or the player of the game or a spotlight player. He wants to get back into coaching. He wants to get back out there and coaching. I mean, he still has that passion, still has that fire in him. Now, has the game advanced beyond what John Gruden can bring to the table? They said this with a lot of coaches out there. Maybe their coaching standards or methods are not up to par with today's game, meaning they want to get more analytical, use more of the data on these players to make them get over the hump and they can see their progression rise. That is like the new thing in all sports, showing you when you're playing your best. You know, your points are more valuable at this point of the game. And there are a lot of coaches out there that utilize those tools, and there's some that are just old school with it. You know, hey, here's the breakdown, here's the play. If it's not there, here's your B option, here's your C option. And it's working with some teams and other teams it's not working with at all. But who's to blame on that note? Now, a little entertainment aspect of the show here on Who's to Blame. I've recently watched 2 movies. And they're pretty good. One got pretty high scores. Rotten Tomatoes, that being Lady Bird. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I didn't like the ending. You know, I don't like movies that end. I just think it's going to another scene. Then next thing you know, the credits are coming up on the screen. But Lady Bird's a pretty good movie. It kind of reminds you of Juno a little bit. It has a little bit of Juno in there because it's from the same person that made Juno. You know, I just know one thing. If I ever in my life talked to my parents like that in high school, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here right now. I'm telling you that up front. And another movie I had a chance to check out was 3 Billboards with Frances McDermott, based on a fictitious town here in Missouri. The premise of the movie, her daughter was raped and murdered, and she wants answers. She didn't think the police or the sheriff did enough in the small town. And Frances McDermott is the mom from Almost Famous. She is classic in this movie. It's a great movie. Again, it's called 3 Billboards of Benning, Missouri. And it was a very comical movie. Very, very dark. But hey, when you mess with someone's kid and you're not giving them the right answers that they want to deserve, or even an explanation, you're going to get a mom like that. Again, that is 3 Billboards of Benning, Missouri, and Lady Bird is what I checked out. And that right there is your movie breakdown with movie guy Dre Montez. I think now I want to check out Father Figures. I want to check out Father Figures and O'Shea Jackson Jr. new movie with Russell Crowe. I want to check that out as well, too. So, well, not with Russell Crowe, the guy from 300. I want to check that out next. Probably get my movie fix in that way. But throughout the day today, if you're not doing anything for lunch today, come on down to the Stable in Soulard, where yours truly will be bartending from 11 until 7 p.m. tonight. Come on down and swing by, say hello at 1026 Geyer. That is the Stable in Soulard, which is right at the corner of Menard and Geyer. It's at 1026 Geyer. Stop on by, say hello. You never know. You might have an interesting conversation with me. Yes, yes, yes. It's not as cold as yesterday, but still put a jacket on. As I told you, it's about 22 degrees now. If you're at the bus stop with your child, please have the child in the car with the AC, with the heat on. I almost said AC. But tonight we got some new shows that are appearing on television tonight. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well. Got some NBA coming up tonight. Kyrie, Uncle Drew, LeBron. Bring it on. And the NFL Hall of Fame committee made its announcement yesterday as well. You got Ray Lewis on there. You got Isaac Bruce on there. I mean, it's some interesting names on there. Who else going to make it? T.O. Is T.O. going to get in? As we'll find out February 3rd, who's actually going to be allowed to get in the Hall of Fame. And they do the Hall of Fame induction in August. That'll be awesome. Randy Moss, kid from West Virginia going into the Hall of Fame. Randy is down there. Randy Moss. But guys, this has been a great, great morning. Great morning for the show of Who's to Blame. Thank you guys all for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. Little bitty things go a long way with me. Little bitty things go a long way with me. That's what she said. I've been caught up watching The Office. I didn't watch it when it was on television. Now I'm in season 6. And Steve Carell is hilarious, man. That guy is hilarious on that show. I mean, the things he says are just mind-boggling to me. How can somebody talk like that? But again, thank you. Next call. Give him a call today. Stop on by 2631 Gravois. See you at the Stable later today at 1026 Geyer. I'm there from 11 until 7 p.m. tonight. Watch a little bit of NBA afterwards. And as my great-grandpappy always say, if you're going to ring the bell, make sure you got your shoes on. Enjoy your day, St. Louis, and take care. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Really appreciate it. Hey, Mary, go Chiefs, right? Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs.